up, brothers and sisters, and welcome to MTG Malone with me, MtgA Malone. Today we have a special video. The new set is almost here. Of course, if you're a fan of the channel and you watch my live streams, you know that we already had, the videos about the early access event where you could, check out the new decks, where I was playing all the other amazing content creators like Ash Little, Filipa, Jim Davis. I played Croaky's Legend. Even CGP whooped my sweet behind at one point with a deck that came out of nowhere like in RTKO. But, you can check out these decks. There were some very fun decks on my channel. You can check them out and just, make yourself, a picture of how you like those decks. But today, we're talking about the cards that, in my opinion, you should 100% craft for the new set. First of all, I'm only talking rares and mythic rares. No commons or uncommons. So that is also my first tip for crafting cards. Before we get into the video, the first thing you should do, take all the commons and uncommon wild cards that you have and craft all the common and uncommon cards from the new set that you can craft. Because that way, when you then open the pack, those cards that you already have will be put into your vault and add to your vault collection. And a 100% vault gives you some commons and uncommons, but also 2 rares and 1 mythic rare. So you're getting even closer to crafting even more cards, and it's absolutely freaking worth it. Also, before we get into the video, one little, YouTube plug. Leave a comment down below, how you like these new cards, what are you most excited for, and also, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, become part of the Maloniacs. We're not even 800 people away from the new freaking goal of 30 freaking thousand. Hey, these are the cards I think you should craft. Take it, of course, with a little caution. I haven't seen the meta yet. This is just my opinion. Maybe in like a month we come back to this video and you can all slap me in the face for being wrong about. I said in a month, what are you doing down there? Hey, come back in a month and slap me in the face about it. Maybe I was wrong about 1 or 2 of those cards, but most of the cards, I'm 100% certain. I'm giving my honest opinion. There's some that are 5.5 out of 5, so make sure to check those out, get your wild cards out, and keep on crafting, baby. So thank you all so very freaking much. This is a very special video. Cards you should craft. I'm MtgA Malone, and I will see you in those beautiful card crafting guide. Alright chat, so let's talk about the cards you absolutely need to craft. I'm talking about the cards you have to craft. I assume that not all people have all the wild cards in the world. Some of them have to be very, very clear with them. So I think let's talk about the cards where I think you absolutely have to craft. Aven Interrupter is a good card, but I don't think you have to craft it. Same with the Claim Jumper. Yes, the Claim Jumper is a good card, but should you 100% craft it? I don't think so. A card you should 100% craft is this Dust Animus. It's a 2-mana, 2/3 in white with flying. If you control 5 or more untapped lands, it enters the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters and a lifelink counter on it. This is good in a lot of decks, in a lot of decks. Even if you're playing like white aggro, this is good. I think this can even have a place in Boros. If you really need a flyer, that is something for at least the freaking sideboard. So that means you cast it on turn 2, you plot it on turn 2. If you're playing some sort of white-based control, you're good. You're good. If you control 5 or more untapped lands, it enters with 2 1/1 counters and a lifelink counter on it. Now you might say, hey, I can only play this on turn 5. No. So what you do is plot this on turn 2, play it on turn 5 in a control shell, if you can. If you can't, just play it earlier. Just have a 2/3 flyer for 2 mana. Absolutely amazing. That is a card you absolutely want to craft, in my opinion. From the white cards, this is one of the cards you absolutely should craft. Because if you play it on turn 5 for free, you paid the mana before, but you bring it in then on turn 5, it will become a 4/5 with lifelink and flying, which is an absolute comeback freaking beast. In early access, this was one of the cards I was scared to play up against most, and one of the cards that was absolutely worth it freaking playing. So yeah, Dust Animus gets a 4.5 out of 5 from me. absolutely craft this card. Final Showdown. Absolute trap card. Don't craft it. If you wanna craft it, okay. But the 6 mana instant speed board wipe, is that really good? I don't think so. I really don't think so. One last job. Return target card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now, we have way better Reanimator effects. And if you're playing Reanimator, you're not playing mono white Reanimator. So in black, you have way better cards. And there will be a way better Rakdos card. So that is it. Of the white craftable cards that you should 100% craft, Dust Animus. That is it. That is the only card where I say you should absolutely craft it. It is worth to put in so many decks. Absolutely do that. So let's go to Mono Blue. Archmage Newt seems like a card you want to play. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, let's do this real quick. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, target instant or sorcery card in the graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. And the flashback cost is a mana cost, unless you settle it. So it's like Crew, but this is always a creature. Absolute garbage card, don't you do it. Making this work is absolutely freaking rough. Double Down, trap card. Duelist of the Mind. Let's talk about this card real quick. Usually the World Champion cards are pretty good. And in the right deck, this is also very good. If you like playing blue decks, tempo-based blue decks, this is a good card. If you like to play Dimir Tempo, this is a good card. Should you craft it? I will put a caveat on this. You should craft this if you really want to play Dimir Tempo, Mono Blue Tempo. If you want to play these kind of decks, you should absolutely craft it. This together with the Professor, with the Newt's inside card that gives you counters for drawing cards, it's absolutely good. Should you craft this just to have it? Because it's just as good as the Dust Animus? I don't think so. I think this is a 4 out of 5. Craft for the right set. If you really want to play these colors, yes. But it's not a must freaking craft. Yo, Juicy, thank you for the follow. Fibblebit, sadly no. The new Jace, should you 100% craft it? Let's talk about it. I think you should craft a new Jace. This is also 4.5 out of 5. Yes, you can only play it later, but the things he does very good. Draw a card, discard a card. In the right shell, this is just insane. We have seen a lot of play for Kaito. Kaito did make a creature, yes, that could block, so kind of could protect himself. But you wouldn't play Jace just to throw it out on the battlefield and not have protection for it. Also being able to plot cards, absolutely good. But to draw a card, discard a card, just getting through your deck, absolutely worth it. The exile and non-land card in the right shell, you can do a lot with that. So you get free cards whenever you want. And the -6, insane. Insane. If you find ways to protect Jace, you are absolutely golden. This together with the Dust Animus, for example. You do the -6, you play a Dust Animus for free now. For free, because you already plotted it. Now you will get 2 of them. If you foretell, keep saying foretell. If you keep on plotting cards until you get to the 6 and protect Jace until then, let's say in a Dimir shell, where you have removal, or in an Azorius shell, where you can just counter the stuff that will happen to Jace. Later on, the -6 is absolutely freaking game-breaking. This is whenever you cast a spell. That means creatures, that means instant and sorceries, other planeswalkers. Well, for planeswalkers, it doesn't matter because they're legendary anyway, but I just want to point out how freaking good this is. This maybe, in the meta right now, it will be a little rough because we have so many cards, but latest on rotation, this will be one of the absolute must-have cards if you're playing blue. So in my opinion, 4.8 out of 5, absolutely should craft. Absolutely should craft. I hate you, Lone Shark. Step Between Worlds, no, not a must freaking craft. Key to the Vault, it's a trap. An absolute freaking trap. Don't craft it. And that's for blue. What's that shark? It's a lone shark. Just the name alone makes me angry. So that's it for blue. Craft Jace. Now we're going to black. In black, there is some more cards, I believe, that you should absolutely craft. Let us talk about Gisa. 5 out of 5, absolutely craft. 100% absolutely craft Gisa. You will be building a black deck sooner or later, and you should craft Gisa. It's a 5 mana 4/4 that usually when it enters the battlefield, you will have a way to commit a crime. How does commit a crime work? Well, it says here, targeting opponents, anything they control, and or cards in graveyard is a crime. So countering something, destroying something they own, exiling a card from graveyard, dealing them damage to the face. Is a deck without black really a deck? No, never. Never. It's a sore excuse for a deck. Skeletons and zombies you control get +1/+1 and menace, which is already very, very good. But whenever you commit a crime, once during your turn, you get 2/2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature tokens. This card is absolutely insane. 5.5 out of 5. You should 100% craft this card. 100%. No question about it. Craft freaking Giza the Hellraiser. It's 1000% worth it. You always get the freaking value out of it. Let's say that you have Tiny Bones joins up, a card that will also show you. Automatic crime. You have like, I don't know, something to interact with the graveyard. Like you, for example, have the rat that makes rats that exile stuff from graveyard. You have whatever that targets your opponent. As soon as it says target opponent, or target player, you can target your opponent, you can do this. And there's so many things to do it for free. Let's say the unlicensed hearse that exiles stuff from graveyard. You target your opponent, you committed a crime, you're already getting the blue-black zombie rogue creature tokens. And if you have a way to do it twice, you know, during your turn, during their turn, you're getting 4 out of them until their turn starts. Until your turn is back. And those will be 3/3s with menace as long as Giza survives. And having ward 2 plus pay to life will be certain freaking survivability. This card, 100% craft this card. I guarantee you, you won't freaking regret it. I promise. Karvik the Punisher? I don't think so. Yes, Giza is like in the curve right after Shelly, and I see it right there. Rush of the Dread. Should you 100% cast it? No. It only works with one deck. Tiny Bones joins up. When it enters the battlefield, any number of target player each discard a card. You can target yourself with this, but you also target your opponent. This already is a crime if you target your opponent with this, which you always will be doing. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose 1 life. This already is a crime. I think Tiny Bones joins up will be absolutely insanely good. There's so many cards they want to commit crimes that are absolutely worth it just for Giza. And think about all the mono black, let's just talk about all the mono black cards that are legendary that you already want to play. You have Tiny Bones itself. We will talk about that. Also for me an absolute must craft card, but we will talk about this. Good, you play Giggs, you know? Giggs just already deals some damage. You play the red, I always forget the name, the Lord Skitters. Now you have double crime. Lord Skitters enters, committing a crime, double crime with the rat, absolutely insane. You play Sheldred, legendary creature already, you know? You play Braids, legendary creature that sees a lot of play. Now you already have a legendary creature. Later on you play Giza again, already an absolute automatic freaking crime. You didn't even have to do it. So it's absolutely worth it. And if we go to even more colors, if you play this with other colors combined, there even enter more legendary creatures. 4.7 out of 5. This card will be so important for all decks that care about crime. Absolutely crafted. Not crafting it would be a crime. I see myself out. Tiny Bones. Should you 100% craft this? I think you should craft this if you like mono black. If you don't intend it to play this in mono black, I think in other decks it's just not as good. For mono black, yes, do it. It's fair. You have a nice blocker. You can target them, do crime. 4.1 out of 5. Craft this if you absolutely want to play Tiny Bones. But should you 100% craft and waste a mythic on it? I think no. But I had to talk about it. Vadmir, the new blood, legendary creature. Whenever you commit a crime, put a 1/1 counter on it once each turn. It has 4 more 1/1 counters on it. It has menace and lifelink. This, for me, is a 4.5 out of 5. You should craft it for your mono black decks, for your life gain decks, for your vampire decks, for whatever. It has good subtypes like vampire and rogue, so it's also an outlaw because it's a rogue. Committing crimes is so easy in mono black. So this card will get out of control really, really quick. If you have Tiny Bones joins up on turn 1, play Vadmir. Will already be a 3/3 for 2 mana. Now during your opponent's turn, you always play something like, you know, you destroy something of theirs. I think crime will be big. So this card, for me, you should absolutely craft. You will not regret it. Even if there's cut down still, yes. But I think that this is a very, very good blocker. Later on having the lifelink and the menace, absolutely insane. Let's just say you play this on turn 2. It will be a 3/3. Now it will go to turn 3. You have a cut down and you have, I don't know, not a removal spell. You target your opponents during your turns. Now this will already be a 4/4. Then you target them during their turn. Now will already be a 5/5. During your turn, you look at their hand with a freaking whatever card, discard something of them. Now this will be a 6/6 lifelink menace on turn 4. Absolutely insane. Before that, it also put in the work of blocking. I think this card is absolutely underrated, underplayed in the early access, and I think you should 100% craft this. This is my opinion, of course. If you see it differently, let me know in the comments. Alright, that's it for black. So we have Gisa, Tiny Boy joins up, and Vatmir. My cards that you should absolutely craft. Red cards. There isn't too many where I think you should absolutely craft. The Great Train Heist. Let's talk about this. 100% should craft. 100% should craft. This card has 3 modes that are all good. This will be good in so many decks. You untap all creatures. It is an instant, so it's absolutely insane. You can use this as a combat trick, but you can also use this to just straight up win the game. Having a way to just have an additional combat is insanely good. In the early game, this is good to get like mana advantage. And also the combat trick built-in is also very, very good. Let's just say you attack in. Your opponent is like, yeah, okay, I can block this. Favorable trades, you know. Now you give all of your creatures, like I'm talking about the second mode here. All of your creatures +1/+0 and first strike. They lose their whole board. You lose nothing. Or maybe like small stuff. Absolutely freaking worth it. The third mode, choose target opponent. Crime, by the way. This is a crime. So you're committing a crime. Whenever a creature, not one or more, a creature, you control these combat damage to the player, you create a tapped treasure token. That means if you attack with 4 creatures, they all get through, you get 4 treasure tokens. You can decide that after blockers, which is absolutely insane. Then for 4 mana, so you always pay the red plus whatever is written here, you untap all creatures you control, which is already good to block. But if it is your combat phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. You can attack in, untap all of your creatures, which also protects you from the Wandering Emperor, by the way. So they play the Wandering Emperor. While it's on the stack, you just untap all of your creatures. Then you attack in, untap him again, attack in once more. That will be absolutely insane. This card for me, 4 point out of 5, absolutely should craft. This card, if you want to play Outlaws, which is Assassins, Mercenary, Pirates, Rogue, and Warlocks, you should absolutely craft. There will be Outlaw decks. I will be posting one of them on my channel tomorrow. Absolutely. You should absolutely craft. If you don't plan on playing those archetypes, don't craft. It's not worth it. But if you are planning on it, because they all have haste, and you make 2 of them, it's not legendary. So if you play another Hellspur Posse Boss, it will also have haste. It makes 2 red mercenaries. Mercenaries have the ability to tap and give another creature +1/+0 as a sorcery. If you put this on a menace creature, absolutely insane. But yeah, only if you play freaking Outlaws, play this card. Otherwise, not worth it. But if you want to play this archetype, absolutely do it. 5.5 out of 5. 5.5 out of 5. Should you waste your mythic on this? Absolutely. Craft this card. You will regret not doing it. This card, I'm posting a video about it today. So when you see this video, it will be 2 days ago. But if you're live with me right now, it will be today. 5.5 out of 5. This is just at least as good as Gisa. Spells your opponent casts a target, it costs 3 life to cast. Okay, that is already good. But, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. We have so many creatures right now that make this card worth it. Shakedown Heavy is a 3 mana 6/3. That means that when it enters, you deal 6 damage. Yargle and Multani, which has 18 power. 18 power. You play that, you deal 18 damage to your opponent's face. You don't even have to attack in, nothing. You just cheat it out with a Smuggler's Surprise or a freaking Fight Rigging or whatever. 18 to the face. Just like that. If they then target your Terror of the Peaks, 21 life, they lose. They lose. Absolutely. 5 out of 5 card. 5.5 out of 5 card. You want to craft this. You need to craft this. Craft this. Trust me, it's 100% worth it. This deck will be very, very much dominating the meta. I tell you that much. This deck is so good, it will be an absolute problem for the meta. I call that. If I am wrong, go back to this video, let me know. But I guarantee you, you want to craft this card. It's absolutely worth it. All right, that was red. 2 cards in red. Not bad at all. Green has a lot of must-craft cards. Green has a lot of must-craft cards. Colossal Rattleworm being the first. Jesus Christ on a motorcycle doing backflips to a fiery hoop. This card, absolutely craft. 5.5 out of 5. It is a little bit more even than Gisa and the other one. First of all, this is a green card that is insanely good and works in so many green decks. You can put this in a Golgari build, you can put this in a mono green build, you can put this in a Gruul build where you go a little bit big. Look, It's 6 damage if you play a freaking Terror of the Peaks. 4 mana, 6 damage. It has flash as long as you control a desert, which deserts are worth it. I totally forgot to talk about it. There's deserts now that deal 1 damage to target opponent. Crime. Now it has flash. 4 mana, 6/5 with trample and flash. And if it dies, you can exile it from your graveyard, search for a desert card, put it on the battlefield tapped, which all the deserts come in tapped anyways as far as I'm concerned, and then you shuffle. Absolutely craft this card. This will make green good. This will make green playable. Abso-freaking-lutely craft this card. 5.6 out of 5. You want to craft this card. Guaranteed. Gold Vein Hydra. I totally underestimated this card. It has Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. So it's always 1 smaller than what you pay for it. But when it dies, you create a number of tapped treasure token equal to its power. So if you cast this for 5, you have a 4/4 with Trample, Vigilance, Haste. For green decks, absolutely cast this. If they destroy it, you even get the treasures out of it. So you also ramp. Absolutely insane. You block something big with this. The next turn you play something even bigger. For green decks, this will be one of the reasons why green will be good again. Trust me, absolutely craft this card. 4.5 out of 5. Craft, craft, craft. Outcast Trailblazer. Green has a lot of must-craft cards. This is one of them. 4.9 out of 5. When it enters the battlefield, add 1 mana of any color. And you can plot this for 3. So you plot this on 2 or 3, depending if you have a mana dork out. Play this on 3. Now on turn 4, you will have like 4 mana at least. Plus this makes 5. Because when it enters, you aim at 1 mana and you cast it for free. Because you plotted it before. If you have a mana dork, on turn 4, you can play something for 6, which is absolutely insane. And whenever another creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you even draw a card. So you play this, turn 4, Terror of the Peaks. And then they have a 5/5 to deal with that now does damage. You even draw a card for it. So this is absolutely worth it. 100%. 4.8 out of 5. Craft this card. There is another new card, this Rhino, which you can also like play then straight up. We will talk about that also. Put this down on turn 4, play the Rhino. Absolutely worth it. You even draw a card. Green will be better again. Thanks to this set, green will see a comeback. Railway Brawler. In my opinion, absolutely craft this card. It's a 5 mana 5/5 with reach and trample. You can plot this on turn 4. Which means if you plotted this on turn 4, you play it on turn 5, because you cannot play it in the same turn. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you put X 1/1 counters on it, where X is its power. That means if you play this on turn 5, and then add a Terror to the Peaks to it, now you have a 10/10 flyer Terror of the Peaks. If you play this in a Golgari shell, you play the Arcfiend, now it's a 12/12 flyer. Absolutely insane. You play this into Phyrexian Flash George. Now it's a 14/14 lifelink menace that you have to pay 14 life to destroy. Absolutely insane. This card will make green good again. Yeah, I played this with Yargul and Moltani. 36/12, just like that. Insane. Absolutely insane. Railway Brawler, craft this card. Trust me, you will not regret it. Smuggler's Surprise. Let's talk about this card real quick. I think this is a 4.8 out of 5. In my opinion, you should craft it. This works in so many decks. Just in mono green. Creatures you control with power 4 or greater for 2 mana. All the creatures with power 4 or greater, which is a lot in mono green, will gain hexproof and indestructible. So they target something, your creatures will have hexproof and indestructible. Already very good. Already insanely good. So you should absolutely, craft this. The first mode, if you need cards, mill 4 cards, you put up to 2 target creature or lands into your hand from the milled cards. For 6 mana, you straight up put 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Let us just say you have a handful of cards, a Terror of the Peaks, plus a Galta, and 4 or 5 other creatures, even if it's only 2 other creatures. You pay 6 mana, you put down Terror of the Peaks and Galta. You deal 12 damage to any target because of Galta and Terror of the Peaks enter already. Then you put down the other 2 cards that might be 5/5s. That is another 10 damage to any target for 6 mana. You can play this instant speed. You can play this as a combat trick. Oh, you have an Atraxa in hand? 6 mana instant speed Atraxa plus whatever other creature you have. You play Itali, instant speed, turn 6. Or turn 5 because you're mono green, maybe even turn 4. You put down an Itali and an Atraxa for 6 mana instant speed. Absolutely crazy. Craft this card. 100%. Craft this card. It's fun, but it's also good. They target something of yours, give it freaking indestructible and hexproof. Now they don't target it anymore. It's absolutely insane. Just imagine you play Natraxa and Natali with this. Just imagine you play 2 Terror of the Peaks with this. Instant speed. Instant speed. It's absolutely insane. Craft this card. 100%. 5 out of 5. Is there any more green cards? Thank goodness there isn't. The multicolored cards are kind of rough to pinpoint because I didn't get too much time to play with them, but there is some that you should absolutely craft. Laughing Jasper Flint is insanely good. Creatures you control but don't own, so whatever you steal from your opponent, are mercenary in addition to its other types. That makes them outlaws. Outlaws once more, mercenary, rogues, pirates, warlocks. Did I forget anything? At the beginning of your upkeep, you exile the top X cards of a target opponent's library, aka doing a crime, where X is the number of outlaws you control. Until end of turn, you may cast it and spend mana as though it was any kind of mana to cast these spells. If those are creatures, they're now mercenaries. And you will do this over and over and over again. These cards get exiled. So that is also kind of mill. If they cannot get rid of Laughing Jasper real quick, that will be a problem for them. You play this with Outlaws, of course. It's absolutely insane. This for me, for Rakdos, 4.6 out of 5. Absolutely must craft card because it is so fun to play. Number 1. Number 2, it will be annoying. Your opponent will have to remove it. Because nothing is hated more than losing your own cards to your opponent. Will it like shape the meta like a Sheldred or something? I don't think it will be like a Terror of the Peaks kind of problem. But this card will be absolutely insane. It's turn 3. You played like another outlaw before. It's turn 3. You play this card. Now it's your opponent's turn. You exile the top cards. You steal one of their creatures. Now you have 3 creatures that are outlaws. Now you steal 3 of their cards. It will just get more and more. In these colors, you also have ways to make treasures, so you can play even more of their cards. If they play cheap stuff, you steal everything. It's not even 1 spell each turn. It's just until end of turn, you may cast spells from among those cards. The later the game goes, the better this card gets. It grows bigger and more evil every single turn. Absolutely craft this card. You will not regret it. This is not Oko Thief of Crowns level, but the card is absolutely good. Just imagine in how many decks you can play this, where it's absolutely good. As we already said, committing a crime, not that hard in today's meta. Absolutely not hard. You turn this into whatever creature you want, with hexproof, until end of turn. So you turn this into a Terror of the Peaks, now you have 2 of them. You turn this into a Titan of Industry, now you have 2 of them. And now you turn this in whatever you want. A Flash George, now you have 2 of them. You can also protect itself by making an Elk. You draw cards, and if you ever get to the -5, it's just absolutely busted. Just imagine playing this in a freaking pushback shell, where you just like, you know, fading hope your opponent's stuff over and over again. You're committing so many crimes, you're drawing so many cards. I think Oko is a solid 4.5 out of 5. You should craft it. You should craft it and have fun with it. Will it be breaking the meta like a Wandering Emperor? We will see. Time will tell. But just being able to protect itself, absolutely good. Pillage the Bog. 100% craft this card. You plot this for 3. And later on you play it. You look at the top X cards of your library, where X is twice the number of lands you control. Put 1 of them in your hand, and the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order. Let's just say you plot this on turn 3. You play it on turn 4. Now you're already looking at 8 cards. You play this later, let's say turn 7, didn't miss a land drop, now you're looking at 14 cards. That is more or less a third of your library. And the thing is, yes, you played 3 mana to plot this, but you will play it for free that turn. You will find your board wipe. If not, hey, bad luck happens. Bad luck absolutely happens. But you will be able to get this card and get so much value out of it. I give this card an absolute 4.7 out of 5. You should craft this card. It's one of the best tutor kind effects we have right now, making the plot. It's just the reason this card is so good, it's the plot. Yes, you might waste your turn 3 on this, but if you're playing black-green, you have answers anyways. So you can survive 1 turn 3, you know? If you cannot plot this on turn 3 because you have to play your, you know, your freaking board wipe, do it. Do it. No reason to. But this will help you find a board wipe in this situation. And as Rockigus says, very good for combo decks. 100% craft this card. Rakdos joins up. This is one of the best reanimator spells there is. Rakdos joins up. When it enters the battlefield, you return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on it. Absolutely crazy. Now you have a 9/9 Itali. Now you have a 9/9 Atraxa. Now you have a freaking 9/8 Trumpeting Carnosaur. And when a legendary creature you control dies, this deals damage equal to that creature's power to target opponent. If you have ways to sacrifice your Atraxa, now you shoot him 9 damage in the face. You have way they destroy your Itali, now you shoot him 9 damage in the face. It's absolutely insane. Rakdos will be absolutely freaking busted. And trust me, there is way to sacrifice a creature so easily, just with the new Rakdos. I don't think this is a must craft, I just want to show it. With this, you just sacrifice a creature, and it gains indestructible. And then you can exile cards from top of your library equal to that creature's mana value. So you will absolutely have ways to destroy a creature, throw it into your opponent's face. Don't you freaking worry about it. The big score. All of these are mythic. All of these are mythic. So we have to talk about all of them. Absolutely disgusting. First thing I want to talk about is why are they all mythic? Why are they all mythic? Just to steal your money. I'm absolutely disappointed in Wizards for making them all mythic. There's literally no reason to make them all mythic. Zero reason whatsoever. The only reason they're all mythic is so that they can squeeze wild cards out of your hand. Absolutely disgusting. I am very disappointed in this. Of these cards, there is no must craft. Maybe. A card that could be worth it. 4 out of 5, but don't must craft, but you won't be mad to craft it, is Rest in Peace. There's so much graveyard stuff going on right now. It's kind of worth it. It's going to be hard for your opponent to get rid of. It also targets your own graveyard, so be aware of that. But if they're playing a graveyard deck, this is absolutely worth it. But it's a good sideboard card. It's an absolute 100% sideboard card. So yeah, if you're playing blue-white control, best of 3, craft this card 100%. If not, maybe don't waste your mythic on it. Vaultborn Tyrant. That for me in the whole freaking big score is the best. Vaultborn Tyrant is absolutely great here. You have ways to cheat it out very soon. For mono green, this is good. For big decks like 5-color control, this is absolutely good. Because whenever it or another creature with power 4 gray enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 3 life and draw a card. And when it dies, if it's not a token, you create a token that's a copy of it. Except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. But you will play this in decks where you can cheat it either out, reanimate it, bring it back from the graveyard, or just, you know, you have a Smuggler's Surprise, you play 2 of them for 6 mana. One of the good cards. I tell you, green will make an absolute comeback. Craft this card if you want to play green decks 100%. If you don't play on playing green big decks, maybe 4.5 don't have to craft. But in my opinion, craft this card, you won't regret it. Vaultborn Tyrant, absolutely craft, 100%. Dust Animus, absolutely craft, 100% worth it. You will not regret it. Duelist of the Mind, 90% craft. Not a 100, but in so many decks it's very good, but you cannot just throw it in every deck. Jace, absolutely crafted. You will not regret it. Gisa, 200% craft. This is the card to craft out of this set. Best card in the set, by far. Tiny Bones. Why do I always say Tiny Bones? Tiny Bones joins up, crafted. Vedmir, I say 90% crafted. You will not regret it, but if you don't want to craft it, you won't be mad at yourself. Great Trainized, absolutely crafted. Absolutely. Terror of the Peaks, 200%. This and Gisa, they go hand in hand. Gisa is riding this dragon. 150% craft this card. You will not regret it. It has been always good. It will forever be good. Colossal Rattleworm, 200% craft. This is insanely good. Insanely good. This being able to be flashed out, insanely good. Gold Vein Hydra, absolutely craft. You will not regret it. Outcast Trailblazer, absolutely craft. You will not regret it. Even in other decks, you will not regret it. Railway Brawler, absolutely crafted. You will not regret it. Smuggler's Surprise. I've been talking about this card for so long. Absolutely crafted. You will not regret it. Laughing Jasper Flint. I would give this 90% craft. This is one of the cards you want to have to craft, but it's absolutely worth it. So go ahead and do it. You will not regret it. Oko, also. No regrets on crafting this card. You cannot just throw it nilly-willy in every deck like a Shadred, but you can play it. It's worth it. Rakdos joins up. If you play Reanimator, this is your no card of choice. Absolutely. Play this. It's so much better than so many other, graveyard recursion decks. Absolutely good. Craft it. And that's it. That is my must crafts for the set. These are my must crafts for the set. Absolutely do it. You will not freaking regret it, my friend. The new set looks absolutely insane. We will have a live stream on the 16th where we will be crafting the first decks and playing them in the, mythic meta. I think I already know what I will be crafting because, first of all, in the early access, of course, you're having a lot of fun. You can go a little bit more greedy sometimes. Maybe don't include all the removal. Maybe, don't include the board wipes. You don't really have to do that. But of course, people are playing like decks most of the time. Like, let's say 70% of the time, people are playing decks that are just full of the new cards. Like, I do that. I love doing that. But, also, the meta is what it is. There's still Mono Red. There's still Boros. We have to combat those decks. But there is ways we will be able to do it, so don't you worry about that sweet summer chat. I already have it all in my nugget. There will be some decks I will be recording from whenever the set comes out. I think it's going to be 5 p.m. European time, so check out whatever that is. It should be around 8 a.m. Pacific time. Usually they're pretty good with the uploads now from the new set, so I don't have any worries that we will be getting there in time. In the meantime, I will be enjoying my Sunday. Having my hugest freaking coffee that I made in a long freaking time. Coffee. And so should you after watching this video. Tomorrow, I don't know yet if there will be a video. We will be checking it out. I have an idea about it. I can't guarantee that it will be happening. And next week also, I will be at Mama Malone's place. The videos from Mama Malone's place. So thank you all so very freaking much. This has been the crafting guide for Outlaws, Thunder Junction. And remember, my friend, if you're waking up tomorrow morning, see a beautiful sunburned face of yours in the mirror. And all of you are pretty freaking sweet. I'm MtgA Malone, and I will see you all tomorrow.